As kids, we always dreamt of being professional athletes. From playing in our backyards to new places all over the country, Delta has produced multiple Division I athletes over the years. We currently have 5 Division I commits at Delta.
Brady, being a top swimmer in the state, what's your training and diet like?
Oh, I lift weights every morning at the Y and swim every day after school. And eat a lot of food, lots of protein and carbs, calories, because you burn a lot swimming.
Brady, what was the recruiting process like?
Well, just like lots of texts and emails and lots of calls at night too from various schools.
How do you plan to compete with the competition in the Big Ten?
Plan to work hard, put on some muscle, and hopefully I'll be big and strong enough to compete with them.
What was it like making such a big decision without an official visit?
It was a lot harder. I was gonna go on lots of visits in April, but they all got canceled, and Purdue is the closest, so I just drove down there the night before and checked it out, really liked the campus, and made the decision the next day.
So Bella, how has COVID affected you with the recruiting process?
Well, our last 2 big tournaments got canceled of our club season last year, well, this past season. And a lot of us were really relying on that to get the extra exposure.
What kind of training will you be doing to get ready for the collegiate level?
Well, this club season coming up, we practice like most college teams practice, so I think that's going to get me ready, and I'm going to start working out a lot more and stuff like that.
So what are your goals for college level?
Well, next year I definitely want to come in and try to start my freshman year, so I'm just going to keep on working hard with that and keep my hopes up.
So Sam, what was the recruiting process like when you got committed to Purdue?
Before I got committed to Purdue, it was so bad. Yeah, it was so stressful. It really sucked.
What are your big goals for college diving?
Well, like on a Big Ten scale, in the end, I want to be a Big Ten champion on both 1 meter and 3 meter springboard, because that's my favorite.
What further training do you need to do to compete with the Big Ten?
Well, right now that I'm still in high school, all that I can do is just work harder, try and get as many hours in the pool and on dry land as I possibly can. I need to learn the hard college dives, and then I have to get good at them. But once I get off to college, the coach at Purdue is a 3-time Olympic coach, and he's got quite the program set up to make kids, or not make kids, just athletes in general competitive. So after about a year of working with him and just the next year training club as a senior in high school, that should get me ready.
Yep.
What was it like getting back into the recruiting process due to COVID?
Well, I couldn't go on visits and things like that, so I kind of had to make my decision based off of the calls I had and just like unofficial visits.
So what caused you to decommit from Penn State?
I think I just matured. I mean, I committed to Penn State pretty early. I think I wanted something closer to home, and I just thought that there was probably a better fit.
And what made Louisville a better fit for you?
It's only like 2 hours from home. I got more money, and I think I'll be able to go and have an effect my freshman year. Then with Penn State, I probably would have had to wait sophomore, junior year.
What was your reaction to winning Gatorade Player of the Year?
I was super surprised because I go to a school that doesn't play super good competition, and honestly I think there was other people that should have won it. Even though my stats were better than theirs, I still think there were other people that should have won it, so I was really surprised.
Being able to play football or basketball at Division I schools, what made you choose football over basketball?
Growing up, I always loved those sports, but as I got further into my high school career, I just felt like I had a higher ceiling in football, and I felt like I've given basketball a lot of my life, and I'm ready to give another sport that effort.
How did you manage being recruited in 2 sports?
Well, you know, being recruited in 2 sports really isn't something that happens a lot. So at the time I was just thankful, but then as I got into the recruiting process, it just kind of made it more stressful. But you know, I really just tried to look for what the schools offered and pick the best fit for me.
And what made Ball State the perfect fit for you?
Being around home was really important to me, so the location and the size of school was definitely something that I was looking for.
Coming in as a freshman next year, how do you plan on contributing to the team?
As a freshman, I'm probably going to be redshirted, but definitely just working hard every day, hopefully helping out the older guys, being on the scout team, and get ready for the future.
We wish the best of luck to these athletes as they continue their journey at the collegiate level.
Everyone at Delta has seen the truck line when they first pull into school. Caught up with a few of them to learn more about their passion for trucks and why they started the truck line. So, Caden, what do you like being a part of the truck line?
I like truck line because we get to park there, show off our trucks. But this year, the truck line's not too good. Not a lot of people are parking in it.
Who inspired you to get a truck and join the truck line?
It'd be my dad.
What kind is this?
It's a Chevy Silverado, just like mine.
What made you find your passion for Chevys?
I'd rather have a Chevy than a Ford.
Why is that? Do you have a deep hatred to Ford?
No, I just like Chevys better than Ford.
All right. And how'd you get your nickname Beef?
I don't know, really. Everyone just started calling me Beefcake one day, and that's how it rolled.
Well, thank you for the interview.
Yes, sir.
So, Bray, what do you like being a part of the truck line?
Well, this year it's been a little difficult with COVID, but we usually do a bunch of stuff like we'll eat breakfast in the morning, stuff like that. I hope it gets back to that way, but we'll see after the election.
So, who inspired you to join the truck line?
I'd say one of my buddies, Beefcake. He was a big influence in joining the truck line. I just liked his truck, so I was just like, I'll go join the truck line with him.
Where do you stand on the Ford versus Chevy debate?
Well, you see, I have a lot of experience in this because I owned a Ford as my first truck, and I will say that Chevys are a heck of a lot better. My Ford actually blew a transmission, so that's where I stand on that.
Would you ever buy a Ford truck again?
Definitely not. I would never buy a Ford truck. I wouldn't ever recommend buying a Ford truck. I mean, they're not very good trucks.
So what have you added to your truck to make it better?
I got a bunch of LED lights. That's about it. You know, I like to look cool with my light bar going down the road. Like to blind people, but that's what I've added to my truck.
Thank you, Ray. Why do you like being a part of the truck line?
You get to show off your truck. It's in the front of the parking lot, so when everybody pulls in, they can see all the trucks.
Who inspired you to join the truck line?
Brock Menard was there last year, and I was good friends with him, and he said I should park there when I start driving.
And where do you stand on the Ford versus Chevy debate?
Well, I drive a Ford, but I'm not a big fan of it. It's just too good of a deal to pass up, so I'd rather have a Chevy, but it is what it is.
So if you were going to buy a truck, would you buy a Ford or a Chevy in the future?
Chevy for sure.
Why is that? Are they better trucks?
They ride better, and yeah, they're better trucks. They're more reliable.
All right. And what have you added to your truck to make it better?
Not much, just the light bar. I know my friend Bray, he has light bars out the yin yang, and then some Dollar General puck lights, you know, so that's what it is.
Can't get much better than that. Thanks, Jared.
As you can tell, trucks are a very important part of some of these students at Delta's lives. Now you know a little bit more about their passion for trucks.
Do you know what a mission trip is? A mission trip is where a group of people voluntarily go inside or outside of the country to help out with people that are less fortunate. Today, I caught up with some of the finest staff and students to talk about their trips and how they affected their lives. First is Lily Markham and Mara Osner. Lily has been to Jamaica and Mara went to Nicaragua. They both enjoyed their experiences and would like to go back. What was your guys' overall experiences there?
It was good. It was really cool to see all the kids.
Yeah, it was good. It was cool to see like where other people live in their like living situation and just to know that how fortunate we are here.
And then Lily, what did you do when you were in Jamaica?
We played with the kids outside with like their toys, which were just like water bottles. Like we played like soccer with them, and we helped clean up some houses and just the community.
And how about you, Mara? What did you guys
Yeah,
do?
we played with the kids a lot, and then we kind of just went around town and like learned about the community and like their great places to work there.
Up next is Mrs. Fox. Her and the Fox family have been on 3 different trips. One to New Orleans, Louisiana, one to Copper Hill, Tennessee, and one to Hershey, Pennsylvania. Here's what she had to say.
So, out of those 3 trips, did all of your family go?
My whole family, all 4 boys, went to New Orleans. I think that was probably our favorite trip. We got to go around to different sections of the city to see how the hurricane, even so many years later, was still affecting the community there. It was so hard hit. So it was interesting to see that in the hardest hit areas. And so we got to help a family down there kind of rebuild their porches in their house and do some repainting and remodeling for them after they were coming back from that devastation.
Another student that went on a mission trip was Gwendolyn Clark. She went to Orlando, Florida, and went to Disneyland to help out the Make-A-Wish kids in the World Village where they stayed.
I'm here with Gwen Clark to talk about her mission trip experience. So Gwen, where did you go on your mission trip?
I went on my mission trip to Orlando, Florida to give kids the World Village, which is where the Make-A-Wish children stay on their trip to Disney World and things like that.
Well, that's cool. And what was your favorite part or experience of going on your mission trip?
My favorite part of my mission trip there was probably just like learning and seeing how the kids like didn't get defeated like by the conditions that they had, but they still had a smile on their face every single day and just had the best time that they could despite their circumstance that they were in.
And if you could go on another mission trip, is there a certain spot you would pick?
I'd probably pick somewhere in Africa. Our church does something with Kenya, so that would be cool to go to. So yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
Lastly, we have Brad Shue. His mission trip was a little bit different than the others. He went on a medical trip to Kenya.
And how was the experience?
It was life-changing, you know, when you go there and you see about 3 million people living in a 1 mile by 3 mile radius. There was a lot of images that were a little hard to deal with, but you know, we were there. We got to help a lot of people, and it was good.
Now you know a little bit more into the personal lives of some of the staff and students, and maybe one day I hope to see you out helping.